The offset march is a graduation of your suitcase march, which is based on the object at the side and going back and forth like so. So the suitcase march basically takes us to a place where we're controlling across this midsection here by way of this offset. So if I couldn't control the weight I had here, I'd be basically kind of like flopping back and forth. I wouldn't be able to control myself. So a drill I often use, which we'll talk a little bit about here, is you should be able to stop and just hang out. Stop, as opposed to, I can't wait to kind of get that foot down because I don't have balance. So because it's down here, I'm kind of really more focused on what's going on in the hips and the low midline. Now because we're racked at the shoulders, this ups the ante tremendously, but then also gives us the opportunity to load this quite extensively. In fact, as heavy as you ever want to go. So as I unload this, I've got only 10 pounds here. First things first is I want to be so sturdy in my back rack position that it doesn't mess me up. Oh, that implies that I've got a ton of tension here. Versus, almost guaranteed the first time you do this, because it is a little bit alarming, you'll come out of it and it'll flop to the side and be kind of correcting a little bit. Your goal is to come out of the rack, and this is how you know you're tight enough. Everything is perfect, can't tell. As far as that start and stop goes, the same mechanic applies. I've now got to contend with quite a bit. Ooh, a little too tight here. I've got to contend with quite a bit, and it takes a lot more force applied through my hands. My lats are engaged. My rib cage, you can see I lost my balance there. My rib cage is engaged, and even though this is just 10 pounds, I mean the barbell makes hardly any difference at all. That 10 pounds offset to the side makes this tremendously difficult. And so when you start this, your goal is to up the ante on how perfect you can make the movement. Start with 10 pounds. Start with 5 pounds. The bar by itself isn't really going to do anything. You have to have some sort of offset load. But as little as you think you need is totally fine. 5 or 10 pounds is usually an okay place to start. Ordinary back rack. And now you can see I'm winded from doing this. I'd probably never be winded from doing suitcase marches. This forces me to be so tight through this midsection. Actually appropriate to me filming this on this day, because I just came off a plane and I've had some weird schedule stuff. My back is a little kind of funky, a little pinchy, and I've got to be very mindful. I can't be sloppy when I do this because I'll get like a little jolt. So perfect exercise for me right now to kind of get through that and get my stability back. If you have ever wondered this concept of like squatting and deadlifting and abs and the relationship and why some people say you don't have to do abs, this would be that intersection. And if you can command this and make this amazing, it translates amazingly to your squats, to your deadlifts, to your more compound, heavy, outside loaded things. Incidentally, this is gonna make your midline way stronger, way more durable, in addition to making your squats better. And eventually you can probably graduate away from this and just do heavy squats or deadlifts instead, if you so choose. This can be a perfectly fine supplementary activity in the interim. Squat rack, offset weight, perfect midline, total control, and you're off and running, doing much more durable and tight midline.